Today I take a question about how do we ensure that we're failing forward and embracing the mistakes we make while also not damaging our brand or our reputation along the way. And I give 3 quick, very practical tips to ensure that you're not afraid of failure, but you're doing it in such a way which is never going to damage your reputation, but rather enhance who you are and how you're perceived.
28 and I'm trying to shape history, pulling from the sky for some strength to take with me, line up the stars, fly away quickly and push the world forward like a tidal wave hit me. I ride the wave swiftly, I fear no man.
Today we take a question from, who's the question from today, Rosie? Stacey Shepherd, who asks from Facebook, "Hey Jack, just listening to UnProfessional." Nicely done, Stacey. Hope you're enjoying it. How do you balance failing forward and maintaining a resourceful personal brand? That's a really good question, because we often talk about, you never want to promote failure, but we do need to embrace failure, right? It happens, we need to be okay with it. There's projects that won't work, there's product lines that won't take off, there's websites that won't convert at the required rate. There's businesses that won't, there's a lot of stuff that just won't work throughout business. There's no roadmap. We need to be comfortable with failure. We need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So when it comes to failing forward, you don't want to do your brand or your personal brand, more importantly, your reputation, any damage. The greatest asset any human being, including the most wealthiest human beings in the world, have in business and in life is their reputation. It takes 10 years to build and it takes 10 seconds to ruin. So don't, right? How do we avoid doing that as we fail our way forwards and be okay with having, some sort of mistakes and failures along the way? 3 things. Number 1, contain new experiments, right? So when you're testing something new, do so with the small sample size of people. You might be able to test something with like a sample size of 10 people or 100 people or whatever, and let them know if you're in beta or, if you're just sort of starting out. Sometimes if it's appropriate, just let them know that this is the first blah that we're doing, right? And you'll be learning with them. And often people will like to be involved. First followers will often like to know that they're first followers. They'll often like to know that they're the first people that are joining this community or buying this product, and they want to be able to give their feedback. They want to be formulative in giving their suggestions and their opinions. So that can often work. Number 1 is contain the experiments. Don't invest a lot of money or go really big with a real big bang of something that is untried and unproven unless you are very confident and you're willing to take that risk. Rosie's nodding at me. I know I'm saying something right. Number 2 is actually, in terms of order of importance, is actually number 1. Always do the right thing by everybody, bar none. That is very different from saying everybody will always be happy, because everybody will never always be happy. However, all you can do and all we can do as entrepreneurs is always ensure that we always do the right thing by everybody, no exceptions. If someone buys something and there's 4 people that buy it and we haven't created it, we create it for those 4 people. If you arrive at a speaking event and the organizer has done a good job and there's 2 people in the room, you deliver that speaking event. You always do what you say you're going to do. It is so incredibly important and is just the right thing to do as human beings, right? Number 3 is build on the momentum of success. So some things will fail and you do the right thing by everybody and then move on to the next one. When something succeeds, you can build on that momentum. You can amplify it. You can advertise it. You can grab testimonials from it, and you can build and build and build and build and build. I heard something years ago that was said, we will have losses and we will have wins. What's important is that there's more zeros on the wins than there is the losses. And this is that's actually quite profoundly true. If you look at someone like Branson, who's had so many different plays throughout his life, he will ruthlessly identify when he believes something is not going to work, bang, he shuts up shop, cuts it off, done and dusted, over there. Whereas if something works, then he brings resource, he brings people, he brings PR and media attention, and he gets right behind it. So when something succeeds, you can drive it to the nth degree. And when something doesn't, you can shut it off, shut it down, and never talk about it again if you don't want to, right? Often you should, because it's great to talk about these sorts of things, but if you didn't want to, you never need to again, right? So when something succeeds, you get a lot of mileage out of it. When something doesn't, shut it off, shut it down. Those are 3 really practical and easy to implement principles around how you can fail forward without doing your brand, and more importantly your reputation, any damage at all, so that you can ultimately succeed in an endeavor which is really important to you.
I've been there, I've just actualized a wish that I dreamed as a kid. 'Cause I'm lining